This will be kind of a rambling video. I tried to initially just have a place where I would be a resource for some spiritual backup in the face of all the fear-mongering that's been going on for the last 3 years. And lately the political seems to be ramping up, and then I realized it's actually the corruption is flowering out a little bit into a greater awareness of itself. There's a couple of great new people. Thomas Sheridan has legitimatized the research into the fact that most of the people who desire to be in governments and high up in religions are psychopaths. And it's not acceptable to be a psychopath. I'm not sure if the human race knows exactly what it is, but it's been documented. I don't think even a Scientologist ever said that they could fix or cure a psychopath. Another important person is Karen Hughes, whistleblower from the World Bank, and if you ever want to see a good example of a real adult and the kind of person that we hope that the senior citizens of the world would be like, she's the real deal. So last night I was out looking at yet another comet that was going to destroy the world, or its tail would sweep across, and giant ice balls would knock down buildings. I'd like to point out that all these comets and strange objects that have gone by lately haven't even taken out a single communication satellite, much less take us back to the Stone Age. And I think taking us back to the Stone Age is kind of an overstatement, because we all want our MTV and we're not going to put up with that. Worst case scenario on that is if the grounding insulators on many or most of the large transformers in our electrical power grid got fried and the transformers got burned out. They are a huge item that takes 1 or 2 years to get. If you order one, and if we ordered 10,000 of them, it would be quite a backlog. However, there would probably be some other way of handling that. So, don't believe that. I noticed that the fear porn has proliferated about the same density as the better online sites, which is disappointing. If the ground crew could clean some of that mess up before the general public starts using the internet for news rather than the mainstream media, which is owned by them, which is turning out to be the Jesuits. I heard, and because we have no way of verifying this, because we're not trained journalists who are under the mandate to, if you're going to put it on your radio show, it better be true. So I heard that Mr. Ratzinger, who was the previous Pope, stepped down, yes, I also heard there was a giant lawsuit against the Vatican from the States for all the child molesting that's gone on. And at one point in his administration in the Vatican, he said, I want all of the child molestation complaints that come across the 10 various offices in the Holy See to come across his desk, and he would handle everything. I thought, because he knew everything, he stepped aside, citing ill health, so he couldn't be called up in the lawsuit. But I heard that the Vatican was charged with child trafficking, and they lost. And since the Vatican has this Jesuit arm who owns the media, when nothing was said about it, now I have no way of proving this because I don't know where I would go to find out where the lawsuit was done, or who's going to charge who, or if anyone's going to be arrested. But the hands off the Holy City. Vatican's only been a separate city-state since the end of the war, when Mussolini declared that. This is not a long-standing historical thing. Now, all the work in this area of the Vatican and the Jesuits, etc., has already been done by a gentleman called Jordan Maxwell. He's been doing this research for approximately 50 years. He's been on thousands of radio and television shows and trying to get the message out. And he was the person that I ran into on the net. He had a lecture, and the opening line is, nothing in this world works the way you think it does. And he had on a banana-colored sports jacket. So I thought, well, what's this about? Who is this guy? And he is the most informed person on this. So I would recommend, if you don't know about this, go to Jordan Maxwell on YouTube and watch all of his material. And you can also recommend him to your straight friends. This has to be disseminated quite rapidly to the public because the media is not going to tell them, so it's up to you to tell them. And I've been on the net, I think, 3 years now. I've got about 400 videos. I used to give out pamphlets, and the positive things discussed on the net have to become public knowledge so we can stop the worldwide rip-off and avoid World War III and avoid the currency crash at the same time. Karen Hughes is talking about rule of law, which is quite simply applying the laws that we do have to these corporate criminals, and no need to jail them. We just need to have it stop, and they can disappear over the horizon and get back to having an honest world. And the time to do this is now, because everything's been thrown up into the air and we're waiting to see how it will fall down. So please do your ecclesiastical duty as a human being and spread this information around. Oh, this is called Help on High because Help on High has arrived. The galactic government is here in a spiritual form. And there is a reason why the volcanoes aren't blowing up. And there is a reason why the Pope and Queen Elizabeth, if this is true, have been taken out of the game, because they are either direct representatives of the off-planet force, or they are members of the off-planet force. This is a prison planet, so don't expect things to be logical. And the planet that has this place imprisoned is also being corrected as we speak. What usually happens is we are able to get up to the point where we have faster than light ships the size of the Titanic. We go home, and as soon as we arrive, they go, okay, they're back. They leave us alone until we reach that point. destroy those ships, come back here and completely decimate the technology so that we're stuck here again, which is what the recurring disaster really is that seems to be happening throughout history here. And this time we hope to handle it better.